Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to see an introduction on cryptography and network security. So, the author of the textbook is Williams Challenge, and most of the syllabus will be covered in that particular textbook. So, to start the proceedings, we will start with a quote from The Art of War by Sun Tzu. The art of war teaches us to rely not on the likelihood of the enemy's not coming, but on our own readiness to receive him, not on the chance of his not attacking, but rather on the fact that we have made our position unassailable. So, whenever a war happens, we should make ourselves ready so that we can face the enemy. So, that is the thing that this quote teaches us. Same way, we should keep our computer systems, information systems, everything protected so that even if the hackers tries to attack the system is very robust and not prone to attacks. So the roadmap of today's presentation will be like this: the cryptographic algorithms. So what are the various types of cryptographic algorithms? We have symmetric ciphers, asymmetric encryption, and also hash functions. So the next topic would be mutual trust between the sender and the receiver and also the third party, then network security and computer security. So that is the roadmap of the proceedings of the presentation today. Next comes the standards organization. We have various standards organization. We have various standards organizations like National Institute of Technology and Standards, NIST, that is National Institute of Standards and Technology. Then we have Internet Society, ISOC. We have International Telecommunication Union Telecommunication Standardization Sector, that is ITUT. We also have ISO, a well-known standardization organization, International Organization for Standardization. Then RSA Labs, which is a de facto standard. So RSA stands for an algorithm, a cryptographic public key algorithm discovered by Rivest, Shamir and Adelman. So that is why it is named as RSA. So that RSA Labs is the de facto standard. So these are the various standards organization for the cryptography and network security. So chapter 1 is covering about the introduction, the combination of space, time and strength that must be considered as the basic elements of this theory of defense makes this a fairly complicated matter. Consequently, it is not easy to find a fixed point of departure. Again, this is from the art of war. So we should make our systems stronger and our algorithms unbreakable in a limited time span, in a limited space, limited time span. If we do that, then most of the hackers will not be able to crack our algorithm within that particular time, within that particular resource or space that is available. So that is the objective of making our systems more robust and secure. Next comes the computer security, the protection afforded to an automated information system in order to attain the applicable objectives of preserving the integrity, availability and confidentiality of information system resources. That includes hardware, software, firmware, information, data and telecommunications. So that is the computer security. So we should not compromise the security of a system, a computer or an information system. We should be able to protect the hardware, software, firmware, which is nothing but the combination of hardware and software. We should be able to protect our information and data and also the telecommunication, that is the transfer through the internet. Everything needs to be in a secure and protected manner. So that is the objective of the computer security. And these are the key security concepts. So what are the key security concepts? We have confidentiality, we have integrity, we have availability and we have data and services. So the center of the triangle we have the data and services, and we should ensure all the three sides of the triangle. That is the confidentiality should be ensured, that is the data should be kept in a secret manner, it should not be revealed to any third party unnecessarily. Integrity means the data should be as such, that is the data which is sent from the sender should be received as such in the receiver side. So that is integrity. If you send A, that A should be received in the receiver side. Okay, so that is the integrity. And the availability means the systems, the internet, the resources, everything should be available 24/7 without any downtime or without any downtime because of the hackers or the viruses, etc. So the system should be available for the maximum part of the time, except for a few allocated scheduled time for maintenance. So this is the basic idea of the key security concepts. The data and services should be available, and they should be kept confidential, and they should be having integrity. Then the levels of impact. So what is a security breach? So whenever there is a concern for security, there is a compromise in the security, that is called as a security breach. And usually there is a threat, always there is a threat because of the hackers, viruses, etc. to cause a security breach, and a potential threat is called as an attack. Okay, so whenever an attack happens on the security of the system, it can be classified into three levels. They are the low, moderate, and high level of attacks. Three levels of attacks or impact is possible. So we will see one by one. What is a low impact, what is a moderate impact, and what is a high impact. Low impact. So low impact in the sense the loss could be expected to have a limited adverse effect on organizational operations, organizational assets, or individuals. It is having only a limited impact. A limited adverse effect means that, for example, the loss of confidentiality, that is the information is leaked out to some other hacker. For example, our basic details, our basic information, etc. Our details like mobile number, our address, etc., or Aadhaar number, etc. is leaked out to somebody else. So it is called as a confidentiality breach. Then integrity in the sense a sender may send only 200 rupees to the receiver, but somewhere in between it is changed to 300 rupees and then it is sent to the receiver. So that is an integrity issue or an availability issue. Sometimes some viruses or hackers may prevent our system from working. So availability is a question mark there. So these are some of the examples of low impact. So low impact, whatever the loss that is caused by the low impact attack may be low in nature. Okay, that is, the impact is low in nature. So it may cause a degradation in mission capability to an extent and duration the organization is able to perform its primary functions, but the effectiveness of the functions is noticeably reduced. So this is called a low impact attack. It may not cause an adverse effect, but some low impact will be created on the functioning of the organization. So we will see some examples of low impact. What are the examples? As I told you, the functions may be noticeably reduced, but it may not have an adverse impact. So it may result in a minor damage to organizational assets. So the loss could be expected to have a limited adverse effect on organizational operations, organizational assets, or individuals. So it may result in a minor damage to organizational assets, and also it may result in a minor financial loss. So these are the possibilities here. And also it may result in minor harm to the individuals. So next we come to the moderate impact. As I told you, the attack impact may be lower in nature or moderate in nature also. So moderate in the sense the loss could be expected to have a serious adverse effect on organizational operations, assets, or individuals. A serious adverse effect means that, example, the loss might cause a significant degradation in mission capability to an extent and duration the organization is able to perform its primary functions, but the effectiveness of the functions is significantly reduced. The same as the lower impact, but it may also result in significant damage to organizational assets, and also it may result in significant financial loss, and also it may result in the significant harm to individuals that does not involve loss of life or serious life-threatening injuries, but significant harm may be caused and a significant financial loss may also occur. The hackers may steal the money also. Next comes the high impact. So this is the highest level of impact that could be caused by an attacker in an organization. So that is high impact. So high impact in the sense the loss could be expected to have a severe or catastrophic adverse effect on organizational operations, organizational assets, or individuals. A severe or catastrophic adverse effect means that, for example, the loss might cause a severe degradation in or loss of mission capability to an extent and duration that the organization is not able to perform one or more of its primary functions. Even the primary functions could not be performed by an organization. The organization comes to a standstill. Okay, the hacker may have control over the organization, and the basic systems itself is not operating. Okay, or the virus may degrade the complete system. For example, the ransomware attack, it caused some organization to be in standstill for a few days before the operations could be resumed. Okay, before putting everything into intact. So that is the level of impact that the high impact attacks could cause. And the result could also be in major damage to organizational assets and result in major financial loss, result in severe or catastrophic harm to individuals involving loss of life. Even a loss of life or death of some persons could occur, or serious life-threatening injuries could happen when high impact attack is made. So now we can understand the seriousness of the security issue. The computer security or information security or network security is very, very important, and that is achieved through cryptography. Because whenever an attack happens, a potential threat converts into an attack, it may have an impact even up to the loss of life when it is a high impact. So we need to be very, very careful and address this issue in a conscious manner. Examples of security requirements. So we have three types of security requirements: the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Already we have discussed this. Confidentiality in the sense student grades. Integrity, for example, patient information. Availability, authentication service. So that is confidentiality means the student grades, for example, need to be seen only by concerned person, concerned teachers, etc. It may not be revealed to everyone. Okay. For example, the fellow student may not be able to access the student grades. So that is confidentiality, how confidentiality is ensured. In integrity, for example, patient information, if a patient is having a A positive blood group, when the information is transmitted to one place to another place also, that A positive should be reflected in the person's blood group. So that is called integrity. When the information is transferred from one end to the another end through the network, the same information should be transferred. That is called data integrity. And availability, as I told you, we can have a basic authentication system like username, password, etc. And whomever is accessible to that particular resource, or whomever is authenticated or authorized to access that resource, should be having availability to that particular resource. He should be able to access that resource 24/7, ideally. Then non-repudiation. So what is non-repudiation? Non-repudiation in the sense, for example, a person is placing a order, for example, an order for selling or order for buying, then later that person should not be able to refuse that he or she did not place that particular order. Okay, another example, for example, a person is transferring some 500 rupees from A to B. B, after receiving that 500 rupees, later should not say that I didn't receive any money at all, or he or she should not say that I received only 200 rupees instead of 500 rupees. So that is called non-repudiation. The system should have a mechanism to check whether the sender and receiver are sending and receiving properly, and later the sender should not tell that I never sent such a kind of thing. The receiver should not tell that I never received such a kind of thing. For example, an email. Once an email is sent by the sender, later the sender should not be able to tell I never sent that email. Same way, the receiver should not be able to the receiver should not be able to tell that I never received that email. So that is called non-repudiation. Next comes the computer security challenges, and with this the first part of this presentation is over, and the overview of cryptography and network security will be continued in the second part in the next presentation. So what are these computer security challenges? It is not simple, easy to get it wrong. So it is not simple providing a security, providing an encryption, decryption mechanism, cryptography. It involves a lot of mathematical concepts and algorithms behind it. So it is not simple, and it may be easy to get it wrong also. So we must consider potential attacks. For example, whether the attack is low impact, moderate impact, or high impact. And based on that, we should provide the security methods and mechanisms. Procedures used to counter intuitive. Involve algorithms and secret information. So whenever you procedures used may also be sometimes counterintuitive, in the sense we may not be able to understand. It may be somewhat complicated. Okay, so it involves a lot of algorithms, mathematical backgrounds behind it. So that's what we are trying to tell. Involve algorithms and also secret information. What is the secret information? It is a key, something like a password. That is called secret information. So must decide where to deploy mechanisms. So we have to decide where and all the security measures and mechanisms have to be deployed in order to provide an effective security. So battle of wits between attacker and the administrator, not perceived to be of benefit until it fails. So whenever only there is a failure, this cryptography or security mechanism will come handy for us. So otherwise we may think that it may be a overhead also. So it requires regular monitoring, regular maintenance, a process, not an event. Too often an afterthought. So sometimes only after some attack happens we will think about security. It should not be the case. We should be ready to face the war at any time, as we studied in the first quote in the presentation. And it is regarded as impediment for using the system. Sometimes it may cause an overhead, some extra time may be required, okay, processing time may get delayed, etc. So it is an impediment. It may be a backlog or a bottleneck for using the system. Unusable security is not secure. That means the security whichever is usable, accessible for everyone, that is only is useful. So unusable security is not secure and also not usable. So OSI security architecture, International Telecommunication Standardization Organization, International Telecommunication Union, X.800, they provides the OSI security architecture. The security architecture for OSI, that is Open Systems Interconnection Security Architecture, defines a systematic way of defining and providing security requirements. For us, it provides a useful or abstract overview of concepts we will study. In the next class, we will go to the aspects of security and the further mechanisms that are involved in the cryptography and network security overview. So with this, we wind up this first session.